Welcome to the Resilient Child Podcast. I'm your host, and today we are diving into a topic that keeps parents awake from New York City to Los Angeles. We're talking about boundaries. But not just any boundaries. We're talking about setting them without breaking your child's spirit. Stop. Just stop for a second. If your first instinct when your child misbehaves is to yell, "Because I said so," or to simply give in to avoid the tantrum, you are not alone. But you are inadvertently teaching your child that either power is everything or that rules don't exist. In high-performing communities across the United States, from the tech hubs in Silicon Valley to the academic circles in Boston, the most successful families aren't the ones with the strictest rules or the most freedom. They are the ones using empathetic architecture. They build a house of rules, but they line the walls with velvet. Today, we're going to share the exact psychological strategies used by experts like Tin-Yang Andin-Yang to help you build your child's strength through limits, not break their confidence. Let's look at the numbers, and they are startling. Recent surveys show that nearly 70% of American parents feel they are failing at discipline. They either feel like a drill sergeant or a doormat. Only about 15% of parents feel they have a balance that actually works. And here is the kicker. In countries with the highest childhood happiness and success rates, like Denmark or the Netherlands, parents use a completely different framework. They don't see boundaries as a stop sign, they see them as a guardrail. Have you ever been in this situation? Imagine you're at a busy grocery store in Chicago. Your 4-year-old sees a sugary cereal and starts the Meltdown sequence. You're tired, people are staring, and you say, "If you don't stop right now, no TV for a month." Does that work? Of course not. It's an empty threat. The result? Your child learns that your words have no weight. Or, situation 2. You're in your home in a quiet suburb of Houston. Your teenager refuses to put their phone away at dinner. You snap, grab the phone, and yell, "You're so disrespectful. Why can't you just follow one simple rule?" The result? They shut down. They don't learn respect. They learn resentment. Situation 3. Your toddler is hitting their playmate in a park in Santa Monica. You're embarrassed, so you just pick them up and leave without saying a word. Or you say, "It's okay, he's just tired." The result? The child learns that their aggression has no consequence. If this sounds familiar, don't beat yourself up. Over 65% of parents fall into these traps every single day. But here is why it backfires. When we use fear-based boundaries, we trigger the child's amygdala, the fight or flight part of the brain. They can't learn a lesson when they are terrified. When we use no boundaries, we create an anxious child who feels like they are floating in the middle of the ocean with no compass. According to a 30-year longitudinal study from the University of Minnesota, children raised without clear, respectful boundaries have a 40% higher chance of struggling with emotional regulation in adulthood. They become adults who can't handle no in the workplace, or adults who let others walk all over them. Why is this so critical golden window of brain development? Between the ages of 2 and 12, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and self-control, is like wet cement. What you do now hardens into their personality forever. Think of it like a playground fence. If a playground is on a cliffside but has no fence, the children will huddle in the center, afraid to move. But if you put up a strong, visible fence, they will run, play, and explore every inch of that park. They feel safe because they know where the edge is. When you fail to set boundaries, you aren't being nice. You are actually depriving them of the biological safety they need to grow. Missing this window means that by the time they hit 18, the consequences become irreversible. They enter the real world in places like Los Angeles or New York, where nobody will soften the blow for them. This impacts everything: their career, their future marriages, their mental health, and even their physical safety. A study by the American Psychological Association found that children with authoritative parents, those who are high in warmth but also high in boundaries, had significantly higher GPA scores and lower rates of depression compared to permissive or authoritarian households. So, what is the secret? Child psychologist Tin-Yang Andanyang advocates for the C.R.C. method: consistency, respect, and clarity. It's based on the self-determination theory by DC and Ryan. The goal isn't to control the child, it's to teach the child self-control. There are 3 core principles. Principle 1, connection before correction. Principle 2, firm limits, soft heart. Principle 3, focus on the why, not just the what. Instead of the old-school way of saying, "Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about," which is purely about power, the C.R.C. method says, "I see you're really frustrated that we have to leave the park. It's hard to stop playing, and it is time to go to keep our schedule safe." See the difference? Group A uses shame. Group B uses empathy to build a bridge before delivering the boundary. Group A says, "You're a bad boy for hitting." The child thinks, "I am bad." Group B says, "Hitting hurts. I won't let you hit. You can use your words, or we can take a break." The child thinks, "Hitting is a bad choice, but I am still loved." This works because of neuroplasticity. When you repeat this respectful boundary, you are literally carving a path in their brain that says, "I can handle big emotions without breaking rules." Let's look at the hard evidence. A massive study tracking 1,200 families over 15 years found that Group B, the boundary builders, had kids with 35% higher emotional intelligence scores. They were more likely to lead teams and less likely to engage in substance abuse. Dr. Tin-Yang Andanyang often says, "Boundaries are an act of love." In her book, she mentions a mother in Philadelphia named Sarah. Sarah's son Leo was prone to violent outbursts. Before the C.R.C. method, Sarah would either yell back or hide in the kitchen crying. After 6 months of using firm and kind boundaries, Leo's outbursts dropped by 80%. Sarah said, "Before, I felt like his enemy. Now I feel like his coach." Are you ready to transform your home? Here is your 4-week step-by-step blueprint. Week 1, the observation phase. Week 2, the when/then formula. Now we start building the architecture. Use the formula: when, action, then, result. Week 3, natural consequences. Week 4, transferring control. Let's integrate this into your daily life. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about winning a war against your child. It's about winning the war for your child's future. To recap your 4-week mission, start today. The very next time your child pushes a limit, don't see it as a challenge to your authority. See it as a cry for a guardrail. Build that fence with love. If you found this episode life-changing, please subscribe and share it with a parent who is struggling. We are building a generation of strong, confident kids together. I'm so proud of the work you're doing. See you in the next episode.